Okay, so how do you define self-respect? To me, self-respect is having confidence in yourself and the decisions that you make, and making those decisions for yourself and not for anyone else. I honestly think that no matter like what you do, as long as it's something that makes you happy and it's something that you want, then that's part of self-respect. But if you're doing it for someone else, then you're like walking on that fine line. So basically, it's just like respecting yourself, obviously, and making decisions for yourself.
Now go.
What was one time recently where you stood up for yourself as a woman, and how did you feel after that?
Recently, I was in a chemistry class, and this boy on the baseball team was telling a story about how last night he put somebody in the hospital. And of course, saying that, everybody is very intrigued in the story. So the teacher asks him, "What happened, Jacob?" And he goes on to tell the story about how he was running to home plate and the catcher was being thrown the baseball. And when Jacob came running to the base, he slid into the catcher and he hit the catcher with his cleat. And the guy had his calf cut open. After telling the story, our teacher asked, "Well, Jacob, did you respond to him in any way? Did you say sorry, all that stuff?" And he continues to tell the story and says, "No, I didn't talk to him. He was crying. He was laying there on the ground like a pussy." So right when I heard that, I immediately jumped out of my seat and said, "You can't say that. That's demeaning to women." The class went silent, and everybody was staring at me. And in those few seconds of me just standing there, and everybody was shocked, and he just stood there. It was probably one of the most empowering times I've felt ever, because that was the first time in a classroom setting I got up and said that in front of my friends and people around me. I'll do that all the time, but that was the first time that it had ever happened in a classroom setting, and it's a very powerful feeling when everybody goes silent around you and when it sinks in. And my teacher didn't say anything. She just stood there and was shocked. I sat down and the class continued. He kept telling the story. So you would think that he would have learned his lesson after the first time, or maybe not learned his lesson, but figured out that you don't say that about women. So then he keeps telling the story, and again says, "Yeah, he was just acting like a girl. I didn't want to talk to him, and I didn't say sorry to him either." That time, again, I hopped out of my seat, but before I could say anything, my teacher said, "Jacob, you can't say that. That's disrespectful." And I was excited because my teacher didn't say anything the first time. And later that day, she pulled me aside and told me how I had inspired her to say something when she fell silent. And kids in my class, two girls and a boy came up to me and said that they felt inspired by that also. So it was a really powerful feeling to know that I impacted others and not just made myself feel good.
How would you define yourself as a woman leader? I think being a woman leader is really special because in our world, until recently, it's been full of men leaders. So now, when you're a woman leader, you have a responsibility to look out for all the minorities. Not that women are a minority, but minority in certain fields. So look out for women, look out for people of different races, different sexualities, and it's your responsibility to take all of the opinions of those people and put them into perspective and kind of stand up for what's right and keep in mind all the oppression that women have had in the past and learn from that and take it with us and just do the right thing and try not to be influenced by the other male leaders.
They do have a difficult
Male leaders.
Thank you.
You're welcome.